Have you heard the news this morning? The St. Lawrence has turned green. And so have we. What I'm going to talk to you during this homily, you've heard before. But I think it's something we need to remind ourselves every day, is that we're all brothers and sisters. We know it's not easy worldwide. Just these days, a mosque was attacked and Muslims were killed. Other times in the year, a synagogue was attacked and Jews were killed. Somewhere else in the world, churches were attacked and Christians were killed. So I'm going to start with the cross. Jesus Christ didn't kill anyone. He got killed. And St. Paul has this strong expression and a strong invitation: don't be enemies of the cross, but be friends of the cross. What is it? What does it mean to be a friend of the cross? What do I see when I look at the cross? I see Jesus Christ. We see Jesus Christ. And we see Jesus Christ who gave his life for the whole of humanity. Not for a few, not for the whole of humanity, not for those of the time of his time, for the whole of humanity, of every place and every time in the whole history of humanity. He gave his life for everyone. And as he gave his life for everyone, it is the strongest affirmation of the dignity of everyone. When you give your life to someone, you affirm the dignity of someone. Somehow dignity of the person is not so much about our rights, proclaiming our rights. It's important, but there's something deeper than that. The dignity of the person is to respect the dignity. It's about our responsibility to respect the dignity of the other person. And when someone gives his life for that person, it's the greatest affirmation of the dignity. In a family, when a husband gives his life for his wife, he affirms the dignity of his wife. When a wife gives his life for her husband, she affirms the dignity of her husband. When both give their life for their children, they affirm the dignity of their children. When someone takes up the cause of helping the poor and gives his life to help the poor, he affirms the dignity of the poor. Everywhere, every time someone gives his life in so many ways to someone else, or to many people, it's an affirmation of the dignity of the person to whom I give my life. And as Jesus Christ chose and wanted to give his life to the whole of humanity, it's the greatest affirmation of the dignity of every human being, of everywhere, every faith, every culture, every condition, every walk of life. The strongest affirmation of the dignity of everyone is Jesus Christ on the cross. That's why Jesus Christ on the cross is not just about Christians. It's about humanity. Somehow it's part of our faith in Jesus Christ to see everyone as brothers and sisters in humanity. Those who believe in Christ, we are brothers and sisters in Christ. And those who don't believe in Christ, who have other faiths, or maybe sometimes we say atheist, but somehow atheist is also a belief because it's a way of believing in humanity. Humanity as an absolute, but it's a way of believing in humanity. Somehow everyone has some belief, whether it is in God, whether it is in Christ, whether it is in humanity. There are all kinds of belief. But Jesus Christ has this unique reality about him, is that he gave his life for all of humankind. And it's part of our Christian faith. Then we try and we learn to look at the world from the cross. What does Jesus Christ see on the cross? What is the look of Jesus Christ on the cross? What does he see on the cross? It has to become our own look. When we look at the world, when we look at other people, when we look at different cultures and languages, what do we see? What do we see? We might see our immediate family, we might see our culture, but we might see other cultures. And we might see that we're called to widen the circle of what we see. When we use this expression that we are all part of the same human family, we are the human family. It's maybe it's the shortest expressions we can have to say that we are all brothers and sisters in humanity. We're part of the human family. And here the family is a very strong word, because the family is what's in our life, in our soul, in our body. We are family. We have a family, and we are family, and we have an immediate family. Whatever maybe the pain, the hurt, or the joys, or the sorrow, or the situation, sometimes of unity, sometimes of division, it's still our family, and it's part of us. It inhabits us. It's in our genes. We are family. And when we apply this word family to the whole of humanity, it means that our look on the world is that as human beings, we are all part of the same family. We are one family, the family of human beings, the human family. And it's very important to have that kind of look. To look at the world and to look at humanity as we are all brothers and sisters in humanity. And with the dignity of everyone, with the dignity of the human person. So when we look at Jesus Christ on the cross, when we look at the crucifix, we see Jesus Christ in his look, in his way of looking at humanity. And as he gives his life for the whole of humanity, we understand that in his look, he sees the human family. What he sees is the human family. When he dies on the cross, when he loves on the cross, when he loves the eternal Father on the cross, when he loves us on the cross with the gift of his life and the mercy that he gives us, we see that from the cross, Jesus Christ sees all of us as a human family. Jesus Christ sees all of us as loved by God. In the human family, there are wounds. There is violence. There is longing for peace. There is love. But also there is hate. And there are differences. And it's not always easy to be steadfast in that way of looking at the world. And somehow, Jesus Christ helps us to be steadfast in our way of looking at others. Whether a Muslim or a Jew or an atheist, we're called by Jesus Christ to see everyone as a brother and sister in humanity. To see in everyone the dignity of the person. It doesn't mean that we agree with everyone, even within our own faith. It doesn't mean that we think anything goes, whether in the world or whether in our church or whether in our family. Once I met a mother And she talked to me about her story, and somehow it stayed with me since then. So one of her sons was in prison for stealing. And he was there for many years. It was a big crime. And she would go visit him every week. And it wasn't easy for her because in her own family they would say, he's a criminal. Why do you go and visit him? He's a criminal. Yeah, that's right. But he's my son. And she would go and visit him every week. Does it mean that she would agree, with the crimes of his son? No. But she saw further than the crime. She saw his son. When there are differences, when there is hurt, when there are, not always incomprehensions, it's about to be steadfast in seeing in the other the dignity of the person, in seeing in the other my brother, my sister, in humanity. And somehow what we will do will follow on how we see the world. We act according to what we see. If I see in someone an enemy, my action will be treating him like an enemy. If I see in someone else, even if he's my enemy, even if I am an enemy for him, if I see a brother in humanity, then I will act accordingly. It doesn't mean it's always easy, but it's like a direction, it's a commitment, it's patience. Somehow it's believing in God and believing in the power of God to touch people's heart, but also somehow it's believing in the human being, believing in humanity, that is believing that the deepest reality at the bottom of each soul is the capacity for good and for truth and for beauty. And whenever someone or a group of people moves away from that, they move away from, or we move away, if it's us who move away from that, we move away from what we are. The fact of being made for truth, beauty, and love is something we cannot move away from. It's always with us, within us. We can act differently, but we still remain as creature of God, made in His image and likeness. We're still made for truth and love and beauty. So, yet again, we've heard that before, but it's like something, you've drank water yesterday. I think you'll drink water today also. It's something we need to remind us. And at every generation, when you're 15 years old, the way you grow up and you learn to see the world, it's important at that moment to see the reality of human family. As you are 20 years old and you become more conscious of the pain in the world, of the divisions, of the violence sometimes, you need to be steadfast in deepening that vision that we're all human family. And when we doubt it, because we see things and we hear things, and when you doubt it, let's become more and more friends of the cross, friends of Jesus Christ on the cross, who will give us the strength to see in everyone the dignity of being a human being created in the image and likeness of God and brother and sisters in humanity.